Hi, welcome to session 3 of Bounty of the Week for a few creds more. Last session was run by the estimable Rich Rogers in my absence, who is now back playing a character. I haven't listened to that entire episode, but it did sound like it was a rollicking bit of fun, and by the credits that everyone has stockpiled, it seems as though they got paid. So I assume that it went reasonably well. No one's dead, and they have money. So we are going to start off with the usual, go around and introduce yourselves. And if you'd like to say one thing about what happened to your last session, if there's anything that you want to pick up this session, I can try and keep it in mind, but it's not obligatory. And why don't we go in, in reverse character keeper order, because Rich can use this opportunity to tell me if there's any seeds of things that he would like to see that he left behind in the last session as a GM, because Tags was absent for that one.
Tags was absent. Hey, I'm Rich. I'm playing, I use the he, him pronouns. I'm playing Tags Earthburner, a Twi'lek who uses the she, her pronouns. The playbook of Tags is the Scoundrel, and she was not on the mission before, which is why I think Quake had to fly the ship. And Tags is going to, of course, be complimented, but possibly a little upset at things that Quake like move the seat, and that the joysticks are slightly off kilter, and but yeah,
he might be a bit taller than Tags, so and a bit more bulky.
He might be. Things to seed. Gosh, I don't know. I think Tags blew off the mission because she had a line on a space on the rock that maybe she could open a club if she secured it, and so that's where she was focused, because I do have 2 ticks on the drive tracks towards her opening her own club. So I was thinking,
you were looking into opening your club on the rock, perhaps something that maybe hadn't previously occurred to you. There's like a viable location for it, right?
Exactly.
But you're like, why not?
I mean, why not? Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, and then it is sorry, I have 3 different character keepers open. Helivane, Anders, if you could introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Anders. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Helivane, she, her. She's the expert, and last session she trusted Jawa to ride a swoop bike, and that was not good. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. And then we have Chet.
Hi, I'm Chet. I use he, him, or they, them pronouns. I'm playing Blocks BLX8, who uses he, him pronouns. Last time, I think the most notable thing was how surprisingly intimidating he was to a pit droid who was trying to extort him out of some creds for an oil bath.
Yeah, it didn't get pushed around, which I thought was it was very fun. I very much enjoyed the I am not programmed for humor, so it will not happen.
The most charming or the coolest droid, but surprisingly a blaster, a heavy blaster being visible will go a long way. Nice.
And then finally we have I think the most long-running character here, with Sabine.
Yeah, hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I'm playing Quake. We use he, him pronouns. Yes, he's a long-running character. I tend to stick with my characters. I love my characters. I love this one especially. Quake is a clone from the Clone Wars, long history, blah, blah, blah. Last time, though, he flew the ship and had to get rid of his backseat driver, Blocks, for a while. That was a bit of fun that we had. And because Blocks was trying to help him fly the ship, which was nice, but he was a bit slow with his instructions. So it was more like a bit irritating. But there was a big big red blinking button that Hela had put tape over that said it's fine, and I sent him to figure out what was going on with that. That was fine. And also, I was on that planet. I saw a raven beast. That was also a lot of fun. Didn't get eaten.
Did you try and ride it?
I did not try to ride it. Didn't look like I would enjoy. I mean, I didn't have time. We were on a mission, right?
Okay, because I think we're all in agreement that riding exotic animals is genetically programmed into clones now at this point, right? Have to book a Boba Fett.
It's possible that is a common trait among the descendants of Jango Fett. Yes.
So, you return. You're back on the rock. It looks like your ship escaped any major damage during this period. So, did you pay off your upkeep last session? Yeah.
Yeah, we paid up off our upkeep, but we didn't pay off our harm.
Cool. So now we have the harm moment, which is on this downtime between events. You can all heal 1 for free. Or you can pay 1 credit to heal 3 harm, or 2 credits to heal all harm.
Or someone could use the Bacta tank that we have, right?
Yes, or someone could use the Bacta tank that they have to heal 1 3 harm for free.
Cool. So Hila, get into your Bacta tank, please.
Yeah, I probably should.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at 3 harm after that. And everyone could heal 1 for free. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Your Bacta tank heals your whole 3 harm, by the way, Anders.
Oh.
Because it's the equivalent. It's basically equivalent of spending 1 credit to heal up.
Okay.
Is how I will view the Bacta tank essentially.
Oh, but blocks. No Bacta for blocks.
No Bacta for blocks, I'm afraid. Blocks
No,
does not get to use the
and
Bacta tank.
The beauty is not equipped with a oil bath facility.
Yeah.
So
But
unfortunately,
you have a move. You have a move to heal yourself, right?
I do. I can plug in to tune up my circuits. So I think that's what blocks is going to do.
However, I think that based off the last discussion about the droids and Merv and the subscription and the cost of it all and everything, then effectively that's you paying 1 credit to get access to the things.
Fair. The other possibility, it says when you plug into a source of electricity, install a module, there is the chance of worse damage. So that is also a thing. Yes.
I would allow you to just spend the credit and take like as a 10 plus on the ship, because it's a proper oil bath. It's all done up. Merv, Merv prides himself on maintaining sure that the oil baths are the nicest oil baths. I mean, he spends his time here, and he wouldn't want to be part of any oil bath that wouldn't have him as a member. So yeah, but I think in the field, that's your move for if you go in Luke Skywalker's in the Skywalker Ranch oil bath or whatever, right? Like, yeah. Which I think ultimately now everyone's back to full health, right? Tags, you've been, been looking at a place, an empty unit that's just off the main hangars, right? Like on the corridors going through to the accommodation areas and the things. Seems like a good space. It's being leased out by an old Itorian who's off station but still owns a lease. And as you're leaving, like 3 Dougs are in the corridor after you've been looking around it, and there's a little taking your notes and everything. There's 3 Dougs standing in the corridor, and they all sort of like grunt at you and then step aside, and you see a very slim and athletic Hutt wearing a black robe. You see Jorgo the Hutt, one of the few Hutts who, because pretty much all Hutts can speak basic, they just think it's beneath them to even try. Whereas Jorgo, he's kind of a bit of a wild card. He thinks that, the old ways of the Hutts are what's kept them from seizing the whole of the empire of the galaxy in the grip of greed. And Jargo, smiles as wide as only a hut can smile. And he says, little Twi'lek. Looking to
inclines
buy.
her head with respect.
Always good to see new businessmen here on the rock.
Oh, the place is currently being rented by someone off station. I was just checking it out. I haven't decided what does a new businessman owe the hut to operate?
Whatever the Itorian was paying, of course. Before he decided that he didn't need our protection.
So it is truly open then, she says. She
Oh,
kinda
yes.
strokes one of her lekus with interest.
But what would you be running out of here? Nothing that would interfere with my operations, I hope.
I, of course, would not want to get in your way, Your Eminence. I was considering a club of some kind, perhaps a place where people could come to dance. You run a gambling den, so that shouldn't overlap, should it?
Dance. Come here. I've heard of such things. People come in and they say, who do you work for, really, girl? Is this Tavi trying to extend her claws out from 1313, a dance club? That's how Jaldar Ko rose to the top.
Oh, I don't really know anything about that, Jorgo the Hutt.
Come work for me instead, sweet thing. You could be such a dancer.
I am a really good dancer. Thank you. I will consider that option. It's a very generous offer, Jorgo the Hutt.
And he holds out one slimy fat hand for you to kiss.
She turns a little bit and then forces herself to move forward and takes the giant hand in hers, right? And just presses a little kiss to it. And
I thought you were going to say, and you shake it vigorously.
No. I think Tegs is not, she's a scoundrel. She is not going to pick a fight with a Hutt. She's not going to piss off a Hutt, especially if she's really honestly considering this, although now this has caused her to reconsider. Maybe the Rock isn't the place to open a club.
Well, if anything, it's the reason why it's 7 credits to open it, right? It's because you got to deal with all the Hutt stuff. So
Yeah.
But cool. Okay. The Hutt goes weaving his way up the corridors, his tail probably flicking out and knocking over a passing like mouse droid, as it's going up. It goes like and slams against the wall. Anybody? Well, is there anything anybody else would like to do? I'll ask in turn. Sabine, anything else you'd like to do in your downtime?
Yeah, I actually would like to spend some credits to help with my drive, because I think I still need to figure out what this Pandemore character wants, and I don't know if you were there when he appeared. I don't think so. That was a game in Rich ran. Pandemore is Black Trandoshan, and he has force powers. He can speak in people's minds and stuff like that.
Okay, let me just add him to the NPCs board then.
I don't know if we had a picture of him, but
I don't know if we got a picture of him.
I'm pretty sure Rich can find a picture of him.
He was a pit boss, right? I said.
Yeah, some sort of lieutenant or something. He wasn't. He was actually a bit higher up in the Black Sun Syndicate. He was not a foot soldier or anything. He was a leader. There was a specific word for that, but I forgot it again. Somebody said it last time.
Capo.
Something like that. I think Stephen had Stephen knew the specific name the Black Sun used for that capos. But
Oh yeah, like I didn't knew because I was like, I know what the word is in the Mafia. I don't know what it is in Star Wars Mafia.
yeah, well, yeah, someone like that.
Vigo, I think
Vigo.
is the term. Yeah.
I remember when Vigo, held the city of New York under threat with his pink goo. and his baby plans. But maybe not everyone's watched Ghostbusters 2 recently.
Not recently, but I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah. So Pandit Morg, Black Sun Vigo, Black Trandoshan with Force powers. And why does he not like you, Quake? What's the situation?
I have no idea. That's the problem. We were hired for a bounty hunt. We were hired to get someone away from him. But he was oddly well informed. He addressed me by my clone number, and I don't know why he has this kind of interest, and that's what I want to figure out. Actually, I mean, by now I know why he's pissed off at me. I think he thinks I stole something from him, which I didn't. But never mind that.
Okay, but it seems as though the more you crossed him in the past, right? But he was already fixated on clones, and that's more your crutch.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I want to know how. I mean, I know my clone number. When I first signed up with the Mercenary Guild, I put in my clone number instead of my name because I was young and didn't know any better.
It occurred to me when we were talking about how the seat changes, right? Like when you move the pilot and ship, it occurred to me that the old Republic, right, it would have all been made for exactly the same person. Like you didn't have, the seats didn't adjust because you knew it was going to be a clone who was flying it anyways. Like the headaches of a non-clone army is that you have to put a rail on the seats and adjust them every time you get in.
Yeah. And you have to modify the uniforms and everything. Instead of just using one size fits all. Yeah, one size fits all if you have a clone army.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, well, we have a nice little board of antagonistic people growing on the end of this NPCs and places, from Junior Zimlik to Athgar the Bloody and Pandit Morg. Sure, none of those will ever crop up again in the future. If anyone has a picture of Pandit Morg, otherwise I will flick through my Pinterest. There must be a Black Trandoshan art piece of artwork somewhere, and I bet you it looks metal as hell.
He does look metal as hell.
Yeah, I'm going to put that in the notes, as he looks metal as hell. But anyways, we've gone into the backstory of Planet Morg. How is it that Quake is pursuing that drive now then with that money that he's spending?
I think he will start just asking around, basically. He's not particularly good at that, but you have to do what you have to do. He will, okay, let's see, how do you go at that? Maybe find someone who...
You have an info chant on the ship, Whitaker, who gave you your last mission.
Right, I could ask that one. Yes, that's a good point. He gave us our last mission, and I could ask him what he knows about that one and why that one might have any interest in clones. He actually had hired a clone to fight us, but I talked that clone into stop working for the backside.
Okay, so you know what? Do you want to spend the creds? And why don't we do you can ask me an investigate a quarry move if you like. We can roll that and see how much information he can give you in the short term.
Okay, investigate a quarry and roll plus sharp. Okay. I need to add dice. Oh, wow, I'm not good at investigating. No, I rolled a 5, so yeah. I knew that guy was shifty.
Would you like to call for aid?
Oh, yeah, I could call for aid. That's a good point. I will do that. I will ask maybe Tax to come along with me because she's personable, and she's also a member of the Unbound, so I feel comfortable in asking her to come along.
Oh, I'll happily come along. That sounds great.
Maybe help me smooth my not very good communication skills over.
Yeah, okay. She's got a few friends around. She actually turns out she has some friends on the force. She knows a few. I think there's got to be, I don't know, does Jorgo run the Rock, or is there actually a security of some kind for everywhere except for the gambling den? How do you imagine that?
I think that the biggest form of security on the Rock is the fact that it is a bounty hunters guild location. It's more of a loose kind of like, there's not really much of a central authority so much as like Merv's guys run the docks, the gambling den kind of
So a
operates
bunch
out
of
of
little
there.
fiefs. There's no one
Yeah.
king and no one. Should I
And
change that move then? The friends on the force, maybe grab something else? Because
no.
Okay.
Because I
cool.
mean, I would take the friends on the force as you have friends in the wider galactic forces at
Oh,
work.
okay. I'm happy to take that. I just didn't want to.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Maybe she reaches out to some New Republic folks to help grease the wheels, pull some files, give us enough information
I
to
could.
help.
I'd look into this thing for you. I mean, you guys did so good with that last job with Black Sun, but I mean, all of my access into Black Sun, it got cut off after last time. I'd need someone's code cylinder, like a better code cylinder, maybe like an NRI or something that could get me into those nets.
Ooh, that's tough. I'll see what I can do. So how do you want me to roll help? The move says I act under pressure. I could do that as a help, or if you think I'm trying to charm him, I'm of course very happy to do that.
I think we'll allow it as a, in this sense, as a, the fictional position to have a friend in the force and roll plus charm with a to help roll.
Oh, nice. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Well, both of you can mark experience.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
that's fine.
Um,
Sorry for
Does
pulling
this
you
code
into
cylinder
this.
work?
you reach out, trying to get in touch with an old flame, who's, used to be well placed in an RI. But you can't quite make it through. But what you do get is a secure message back, and it says, Trazic is off the books at the moment, but he'd want you to have this, and they send you a set of coordinates, and it's just signed Uncle. This will tell you about, if you want to know about the Black Sun with the, I've forgotten his name. Where is it? Pandit Morg. If you want to know about Morg, go here. And it's a set of coordinates.
Hey, Quake, I got you some coordinates. All right.
Oh, let's go and see what's what if you want to come. I mean, I don't want to drag
Of
you
course.
into this
Yeah.
more than you already are. It could be dangerous.
Oh, Danger's my middle name. Tags Danger, Russ, Earthburner. We should pull the whole team in.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, it's just just want to go and see what's there. Probably it's just
fictionally speaking, it will depend on what bounty you choose, right? But fictionally speaking, it will either be on the way or incorporated into the place that you're going on your bounty. Because we're going to follow the Star Wars rules of serendipity and storytelling, right? Where like
everyone's related, everything's near everything else.
Yeah. If you have a plot reason to go somewhere, it's on the same reason as your other plot reasons to go somewhere, not on the other side of the galaxy from.
That's that's actually good. I mean, I don't know if it's good storytelling, but it's for RPG, it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's good storytelling as long as you don't ever explicitly say it out loud like I just did. But in RPGs, we can often get bogged down in the details if you don't specifically say it right. But cool. So Quake and Tags have supposedly had a great turn of luck investigating this thing. Yeah, hot lead on Pandit Morg. And then Blocks. Is there anything you would like to do on the ship in your downtime?
So I think at the very tail end of the mission last time, Blocks kind of tried to pull in some information about Black Sun ops to see if there was any mention of like a hit on his creator or his former owner. And it didn't seem like there was. I don't remember if Rich, there wasn't anything on his owner specifically, right?
Yeah, if I recall, I kind of danced away from that one.
Fair, yeah.
Fair. I would like, in fact, because this is my question from you from the end of the last session. I think it would be really, it'd be really useful to define a little bit more about your missing professor as a
Yeah.
as an entity.
Yeah. So I think let's say we're a Duros scientist. They were doing some research into I don't know, something that would put them at the.
Do you want, Chet, because I've put you on the spot with a longer question. Do you want to be thinking about that while I go to Anders and then come back to you for a more involved answer on your drive,
Sure.
Professor?
Sure.
And then you can have a look at a Juros name generator as well and save me from just basically throwing one at you. So, Hella, how about you? Your ship, the Beauty, for once, seems to be holding together. It doesn't need any new parts. It hasn't broken down. It's not come out of alignment. Those experimental landing struts redeployed and deployed thoroughly. It's looking nice and swanky. So what does Hella want to do with her downtime?
I think she still goes shopping for parts just to have some spares in case something happens, and probably shopping for guns as well. She has the armory and she likes to keep it stocked, so she can find something interesting or something cheap. She'll snap it up. Something she can fix, maybe like old broken stuff.
Okay. I mean, is there anything in particular you would like to do now, or is that just a backgroundy sort of thing? Do you know?
I think that's more a background thing.
Okay.
I don't think there's a particular move or something that
there is just spending creds to buy things. If you look in spending stash or spending creds,
there's
go shopping. You can purchase a weapon, armor, or piece of gear. Larger purchases require multiple creds. And the notes has a little explanation of how much things might cost. I mean, of course, you have the preparedness role move as well.
I have preparedness and I have the armory for my workshop, so I don't think I need to buy anything in particular.
Yeah, we just cut across to you arguing with let's say with Steven's character, right? The Jawa, Dalar, operating a little trading thing that he's doing in between hunting gigs, and Merv, the pit droid there, and you're both pulling on a piece of equipment, right? And Merv's dangling down off it, and his little cigar with a red bolt on the end squiggling in the air, and the Jawa's running around going like,
I saw it first. Give it.
How could you see it first? My eyes can see through walls.
Oh, your eyes can't see your own.
Okay, and then so we'll return back to Blocks, who is, perhaps as we cut over to Blocks, it is like portraying a little hologram of his professor or his old master, right? Like, so that the audience gets this exposition as well. Kind of think of So Chet, was that enough of a little break to have a few more solidly formed ideas?
Just considering my old master, Renwama Dim. Nice. She was a Duros scientist who was researching, let's say, researching something involving the. I was just an assistant to her She was researching something involving the
Sith Empire.
super weapon. Yeah, the way that the Sith Empire used the incorporated dark side magic into super weapons.
Nice. May brush up on my Knights of the Old Republic lore there, and be like, oh, you've got the Infinite Empire's weaponite, like force magic tools or whatever at some point.
It's the Rakuten Empire.
Yeah.
It's found probably found some ruins with some sort of text that had been sealed away for eons.
Oh, lovely. I'm so glad that somebody else would know what the Rakuten Empire would be. Sweet. So, because I love that, because it's easy to forget that in Star Wars, all of the stuff that takes place is 2,000 or so years after everything that took place in the Knights of the Old Republic.
Yep.
And 20 years after everyone forgot that Jedi existed at all. But we won't think about that too hard.
Now, this does leave open the question of was Renwama Dim researching this for the benefit of the dark side or the light side?
That's good questions. But great, we know a bit more about Renwama Din there. Have you spent anything on your drive?
I think that he's probably falling into his little detective shtick that he sort of picks up. He's got his bantha hide trench coat and hat that he tips down low over his ocular sensors. He's not really the most charming droid, but he likes to pretend he is, and is looking, really he's just going to plug into like the station's holonet connection, holonet service, and see if there's been probably looking at the ship manifests or ship personnel logs of ships that have passed through the station.
Yeah, we just have the data pads with star tours, ship number, blah blah blah, like passenger manifests flickering past. Now, are you going to spend a credit on your
he'll
drive?
spend a cred. Probably he needs to pay off the dock master.
Yeah, and I will again, like I did with Sabine for her target, I will allow you to roll and investigate a quarry to ask those questions about what you're looking at, just to use the mechanics in terms of our drives and the wider context beyond just hunting down monsters or whatever.
Yeah, just one question. I spend that credit on my drive. Do I get to mark a checkbox even though I failed the roll? Or
Oh yes, yeah. You always get to.
Okay.
Because even things that don't go the right way are routes that you've crossed off, right? Like effort in the right direction. Otherwise, I would just say we won't do any sort of narration about you crossing the box off, and you'll just spend credits, because ultimately it's all working towards the last roll. And at the end of the day, this is all just fluff, conceptually speaking. But yeah, isn't all of RPGs just fluff? Now that I've just said that. Okay. Anyways, sorry, Chet.
Wonderful.
What a damning accusation.
Yeah. Sometimes it's crunch, of course, but yeah. Speaking of which, have you rolled your investigator quarry? Yes, you have 11.
And Blocks
Nice.
continues to roll high.
He does. So do you want to ask me any of the questions off investigator quarry? But this will be about your professor, I suppose.
Yeah. Let's say what happened here that I see this information about?
So you're
Oh,
digging back through the old manifest records. You tracked it down to when you got lost in that trash compactor, because that was the last point of reference that you knew your master was on. So you track down the list there, and you can see where his code cylinder, his ID code is being used, and that's hers, sorry, and then it changes, and you work out by cross-referencing that the Duros that travels under a different name is your master, but she appears to drop off the scene entirely in terms of the academic circles, using her own identity. What happened here is it appears that not long after you were separated, she carried on doing her work, but went into hiding. Somebody else, it looks like Zosa, and you notice that these records have been pulled multiple times by multiple other sources. So somebody
Very
else is
interesting.
looking for her as well.
Oh yeah, so she may have dug too deep. Where does the trail lead next?
The trail leads next to I think that the trail leads next, and I'm going to say this in terms of like what would how you could possibly pick this up, right? More easy, like how you could investigate it more rather than like her trail, because you're looking at I think in the fictional positioning, it'd be quite hard to say, oh, she's here kind of thing, or the next, but you got just to travel records and stuff. It's very, the arms distance. The trail leads next is that somebody who, whoever's been doing this searching probably has a step up ahead of you because they've been doing it for longer. And also there are whole organizations within the galaxy who have bigger resources, bigger nets, bigger things. So if you could, the trail leads next to somewhere like New Republic Intelligence or the Bothan Spynet or whatever, right? Like you're going to probably need some professional help to work with what you've got further. Or of course, you could try and track down her old colleagues and see what happened to them.
All right. I think the computer interface, which of course has a rudimentary AI in binary, and yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't resist the joke of Bocce to binary translator in Star Wars. Yeah, Bocce. Yeah.
Yeah, and then make my way back, considering this this news. This is the most information that I've gotten so far about Professor Dim's fate.
Reenwa, so I'm going to just write a little note to call her Professor Dim more often. There we go. Okay. And so we come to, with 50 minutes to go before our first break, roughly, we come to choosing a bounty. Your friend Whitaker, he doesn't have any hot bounties for you at the moment. It's what's on the board. And Latero, is sitting back at his desk, one hand holding a cup of synthahol and the other one holding a cigar, and one other hand underneath the desk where it's always kept on the blaster that is underneath there, and then the fourth hand waving at you and coming to his office. Younglings, nice to see you again.
Always a pleasure, Latero. And Tags will invite herself to a seat and just kind of slump into it.
And Quick will take a position behind Tag's seat, just crossing his arms and just standing to attention, sort of.
It's amazing, like all these years after the Clone Wars, and they still haven't learned how to take that stick out of their exhaust ports.
I think he wants you to have a seat, Quake. It's cool.
Well, I like my stick where it is.
I'll drink to that. Yes. Anyways, you're here to do some on the books work, I take it? Not like last time.
Oh, you found out about that, huh? Well, you know, everything's up and up at the end of the day, right? Right?
Of course. I was young too once. You have to make creds where you can. No hard feelings, of course. It wasn't a guild job. You didn't take it from us. Just don't make a habit of it.
So did we discuss which job we wanted to take before stepping into that office? Because I imagine we would have just.
You can do some roles on those jobs if you wish.
Hmm?
You can investigate those jobs if you wish for a bit more information
On the bounty
beforehand.
board.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So why don't we start with you, Sabine, if you'd like to?
Sure, I can. What does interest me? I mean, cultural theft is always interesting, isn't it? It's a really great bounty if you can get that guy alive. And he's a moth, and I don't like moths. So I will investigate that one, I think.
Okay. You, of course, have other means of investigating. You can deal with your agency instead.
Oh, right, I will do that.
I will
try.
always,
Mhm.
just to
Mhm.
think out loud,
Mhm.
you can always use that as a thing. The consequences are different from a miss on the investigator quarry. You can't do both, like it's one or the other, basically. Like,
Okay, no, I will deal with my agency. That sounds,
Cool,
I
cool.
will just call somebody I know there, say, hey, what's up with that?
what does the Unbound know
Yeah,
about
what
Moff
do
Arkham?
they, I mean, I'm off, that might give me some useful information. Let's see how that goes. It's a 7. Wow, it's a 7. That's the best thing I've rolled so far. Not great, but they can help, but their involvement is going to complicate things. Of course it is.
By the way, did you both mark XP for your failures beforehand?
I think
I marked
did,
XP
yes.
for mine.
I did.
You did, yes.
I did
Cool.
too. Yeah.
Okay. And a 7, what question would you like to ask me about any of this?
What question? This is just they can help. So, but do you want me to just
No,
use
you
the
know what, you can
questions
ask.
for investigate? Okay.
No, you asked me a question in general.
Okay, I think.
Because their involvement is going to complicate things.
Yeah, I think where does the trail lead next? That seems like okay. Or maybe I want to.
You can ask me any question. There can be free-form question on that move.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. So what I want to know is if they committed cultural theft, but what did they steal?
They stole.
And do they still have it?
You reach out and you find out that some members of the Unbound have actually done work for Moff Arkham in the past.
Okay.
It paid well. It was fine. I like to say that you're not pirates. Kind of. This one felt a bit more piratey than other things. You have to really you have to look at it from a very, very certain point of view to see that it's not piracy. But the Unbound essentially appears to have raided a site that was protected within the Imperial Remnant on behalf of Moff Arkham, giving him deniability. And it's carrying sorry, because I did write down some rough ideas of stuff that they might have got, but basically Moff Arkham is a collector. He carries around different things. He has some loot from Endor, some Alderaanian artifacts that were left behind, some Mon Calamari stuff, and the things that were taken include some things from Yavin 4. So you got Yavin 4, Endor, Alderaanian artifacts from an Imperial's collection. But so he carries all of that with him. He appears to be amassing a personal collection of pre-Empire pre-Republic in some cases. And he spent a lot of they delivered that to him on his expedition on Yavin 4 not long after the rebellion withdrew from there.
Okay, interesting. Okay, wonder if how he got along with Thrawn.
But it does mean that basically the Unbounds are in a complicated position when it comes to any further work involving Arkham. So if you were to call, I think the complication there is that you can't rely on any help from the Unbound if you go after Moff Arkham's mission.
That's fine. That is fine. I can work with that.
And let me just add a note to that effect on the bounty board. Threat intel has artifacts from Yavin 4, Alderaan, some stolen from the Empire by the Unbound. The Unbound won't actively work against him. There we go. Okay, so that's one down. Would anybody else like to investigate another of these bounties on the board?
Yeah, I'd like to look into this Imperial War Criminal. That sounds like we could get paid and do a good deed at the same time.
So, if you would like to roll investigate a quarry there.
Yeah. And,
unless you have a different move that could be appropriate.
No, I don't think so. And my sharp is +2, so I'm happy to roll that.
And I have a real problem when I rename scenarios and don't rename them uniformly, so I can't find them again.
I got an 8.
An 8. Okay, so you get to ask me one question from the investigator query.
Check. Don't know that much about them other than that they're armed and extremely dangerous.
What you can get for free about this bounty is that it is very secretive. It's not a public. That there is a 3 alive bounty from the New Republic for them, but there is a much higher bounty that's being offered for them to just to be taken out, no questions asked. Look at what you're doing. You're asking questions.
I guess what is being concealed here. So I'm asking questions.
You're asking questions, indeed. Yes. So what's being concealed here is that this isn't just an Imperial war criminal. And Latero is even, I think, giving you this. That it's a very sensitive job, youngling. It's classified, they say, but I've heard that she has rebel blood on her hands. Rumor is there was once a trusted rebel spy. High operator, deep undercover in the Empire, operating a whole network of informants and agents. And she was really an Imperial mole the entire time. Everybody who relied on her, everyone who trusted her, they all died very badly. It's all very embarrassing for the New Republic, all very sensitive. Lots of credits for a hunter who makes sure this loose end is neatly tied up. And then he pulls out like a little locked box, puts one of his thumbs onto it, realizes he's using one of his synthetic replacement limbs, swears, uses another hand, then does the second synthetic one and goes, I can never remember which one's which, and presses his real one down, and it opens up and you see a secure comm link inside, and he says, whoever takes this job will have to report this one in when it's done to the employer. Or they can take the New Republic's public bounty. So that's what was being concealed here, is that this is a ex-Imperial who is, who betrayed the rebellion, essentially.
Well, she sounds dangerous. Sounds like someone should take her out, but I have to talk it over with the others.
Oh, and he'll tell you as well that the lead, she was thought dead, but they got a lead when there was a payment. They tracked a payment made out of a mining colony on. I've put Taris 4. Isn't Taris the? Taris is a city in Knights of the Republic, right?
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell I've put Taris 4 there, because there's no way it's Taris 4. It's actually Drug8, which I don't think is a real Star Wars thing. I think I just threw together some words, some letters until I got a name. But yeah, Drug8, an outer rim mining colony that's a corporate thing, but she sent some credits. Well, money was sent out of that colony to somebody connected to the network beforehand. You know what, I'm going to put it, she's a double agent who got many Bothan spies killed. Okay. Oh, well then, yeah, then I must have looked it up. So it's hard sometimes to remember which ones I looked up on Wikipedia and which ones I just threw together some letters and symbols to make a name up, right? Because, yeah, I usually try and resist any kind of like actual locations, because then you have to think about where they are in relation to other things. But yeah, Tags, is there anything you'd like to do? I think we'll finish off this round of this stuff, and then you will choose a bounty, and then we'll take our break, basically. Like, so that we'll have our break, and I can think about the bounty that's coming ahead in that break.
I want to get a little bit of info on Torque Malar. I think, though, rather than doing something could be easily tracked, because you're not supposed to ask questions, should just go talk to Jorgo the Hutt. Hey, it's Torque Malar, guys. Wanted by the New Republic, but he stole from the wrong people. Do you know anything about that?
I know all about it. Yes, of course I know about it. Malar. He was the accountant.
Oh, the accountant.
For Amaratavi. 1313. When you know what that means. Big money. Big poodle. Do you want to roll investigate a quarry to see how much you can get out of this?
I do. So investigate a quarry is sharp, right? Yeah. And my sharp is a +1. Oh, I'm so good at this, guys. Oh, I got a 10.
Nice.
Goodness. Hold 2. So I think I'm going to ask. Yeah. So the New Republic has the bounty, but he stole from the Hutt. What does this tell me about the employer?
Jogger will explicitly tell you the New Republic bounty. They want him for questioning, of course. So we would ever let them ask. But someone, we want to send a message. If you make sure he is taken out publicly. We will match whatever the Republic is paying to make sure he dies before. It's easier to bring in a dead target than a live one, of course.
Of course.
But you make sure it happens in a way that no one is uncertain about who ordered this, who made this. Everyone must know the price of betraying the cartel.
I see. Okay. Well, you know me, I like easy money. So okay.
And it would be so easy. You would just have to not cover things up. Make it very clear that no matter where you run, the cartel will find you.
Then I'll ask, what might complicate this? What might complicate things? Come on, what?
Well,
this
there
is
is
so
the
easy. Why haven't you sent a hit team after this?
well, there is the obvious one of the it's taking place under on the Canto Star, a luxury liner in the corporate sector, and Canto Corp has no agreement with the guild, so the Bounty Hunters Guild is forbidden to operate on Canto Corp's liners.
I see.
And that's the obvious complication. And the other complication is that, well, you're right. Why haven't other people gone to do it other than that reason? It's probably because bounty hunters aren't willing to cross Canto Corp and go into a thing because they've got very high security there. You won't be able to go on with your weapons and all of that stuff. But maybe some members of the cartel might decide to claim that bounty for themselves as well. If you're a Sicario, I still think Sicario is the best way of describing exactly that kind of assassin. You know, if you're a button man for the Hook Cartel, or you're some sort of hawk or street thingy, maybe this would be your way up to take out somebody who pissed off the big bosses. So you could face competition from the very people paying you, essentially.
Okay. Thank you ever so much, Jorgothad. And she'll back her way out, bowing obsequiously.
And then finally, Blocks. Would you like to investigate any of these bounties?
Yeah. I think there's a possibility that since Professor Dim was looking into cultural artifacts, the Moff's collection piques Block's interest. So I think it would probably benefit to get a little bit more information on maybe that might be something worth checking out. Also, 8 creds, if taken alive, can go a long way. So do a little more digging into.
Yeah, if you'd like to roll me investigate a quarry.
Investigate. How is Blocks rolling so high on these?
This is why Quake doesn't trust the droid, because he's taken all of his luck. Cool.
Having established a relationship with the station computer.
So, what questions would you like to ask about this?
Okay, so let's see. We already got
you found something out about the artifacts, but that's a different angle than you might be able to get from your specific inquiries.
Right. So I'll ask, what might come? 8 creds.
Just so you know, Chet, you are, and it's not you are roboting quite badly for us all, I think. But it's that kind where it suddenly catches up. You know, like, I've not actually lost what you're saying. It's just moments where I'm not sure if you'll come back, and then suddenly it all comes out at once. You know, like, you know.
Okay, sorry.
No worries. I just thought I'd let you know in case there's I think it's better to know that you might not be communicating properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you were asking about
I'll close
what might
some
complicate
tabs.
things.
How about that?
That might work. Yeah. I tried to use Jitsi the other day, and it was awful. I was like slow motion on the cameras. It was not worth doing.
I love the idea behind Jitsi. I've just found the experience is suboptimal.
Yeah. But you are asking what might complicate things, right, Blocks?
Yes, what might complicate things?
And I think you used to be Professor Dim's assistant, right? So you probably carried a lot of their notes and things like that, and it's maybe not stored and indexed in a way that Blocks can readily access or make sense of or things like that. But by interfacing with it and cross-referencing on the planet of Ashus Re, you know, that Ashus, you find old notes that Professor Dim had it as listed as one of the places that she was interested in visiting. And it contains what's believed to be old Sith Empire ruins hidden throughout the forests. What might complicate things is that there are legends of people going missing, of sites that were completely like people found them in the forests by expeditions, and then when they tried to return to them from their ships, it was impossible to relocate the same place again. So ultimately, I would say weird shit in the forest is probably the easiest way of understanding that. But yeah,
Weird shit in the forest seems to be a recurring theme with our bounties.
And you have a second question?
Oh yeah, I get to question. What are their weaknesses?
Their weaknesses,
either from a personal perspective or from a security perspective.
I think that you look up one of Professor Dim's old colleagues, and one weakness is that Professor Alu, a scholar from that your professor was in touch with back in the day, shared research into these areas, has apparently taken work with Moff Arkham, and he is a weakness in terms of that he's familiar with you as well. Like it's a foot in the door if you were to be able to. He is currently believed to be with Moff Arkham, like on site on expedition, but that is a potential. He's not Imperial, he's been lured into working with a fellow researcher who just happens to be an Imperial, if you see what I mean. But that would be the weak link there.
Of course. And if I were to have to possibly get in touch for research purposes, might answer some questions that would let us in.
Yes, I would say that due to the framing of it all, you'd probably have to be on Ashus. They're like
right, yeah, in system.
Yeah. They don't have a HoloNet like relay on wherever they are, right? But if you manage to find him, he's a good place to start, right? Or to get more information, or to do whatever you want to do with.
Got it.
I have added some of these things as notes or as italics onto the bounty board, because this is the first time I've ever actually done it where like you ask questions about different bounties and then thingy, and this is exactly what I wanted to happen, was you find out more about each one and you choose which one fits your thing that day, kind of thing. So what I would ask is we can now have a meta conversation about what bounty you would all like to do first. And why don't we return to the person who kicked all of this off, Sabine?
I think Quick would like to go after this moth, A, because of art, and B, because he doesn't comfortable doing assassin work basically for Huts or Empire or anything like that.
I mean, you don't have to kill Torek Mela. He's still worth 4 alive to the New Republic.
Yeah, still, and the bounty is quite good for Moff Arkham. So that's the one he would like to go after the most.
So that's 1 vote for Moff Arkham. And then next in the character keeper, it is Blocks.
Blocks is of course also interested in going after the Moff.
Okay.
Both for the cred and for ancillary reasons. There is a link to his master.
Nice, that's 2.
I
Rich?
mean, I'll save time. I think Tags wanted to gather information about Torek, but what she found made her like, oh, that sounds like a whole lot of work for 4 cred. So she let Quake convince her.
Does it sound any more appealing to you when I say it's 12 creds and there's 4 of you, Rich?
Well, I'd say your math's off. It should be 16. But
yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's 16 creds. There we go.
Ooh, it does sound good, but I think she would be convinced by Quake and even Blocks is like, oh, this has to do with my master. That would definitely sway her. So she'd fall in with the Moff. Pointing out, Moffs usually don't walk around alone. And there is a note about I think this could be dangerous. This could be real dangerous. Small unit. What is small? What is small?
It's not a full Star Destroyer. It's somewhere between that.
We can just hope it's a few stormtroopers, and that is usually not a problem.
Okay. I mean, if someone had asked what are their strengths, you would definitely know how many. But it wasn't one of their weaknesses. Was that they were under equipped and undermanned. So that's how you know by small. You were at least working with that scale. And then finally, Hella, are you happy with Moff Arkham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problems with that.
Yeah, is that who you wanted to go for, like in character?
Hela or the Imperial War Criminal. Oh, sorry, Arkham or Clan, but either is fine.
Yeah. Are you telling me that Hela's got a bounty on her head and this whole time?
No.
That's a twist, isn't it? That's definitely a hard move. I should keep in storage for people. Is that one of you has a bounty on your heads? Nice. Okay, cool. So we're going with Moff Arkham. Let us take is a 20 past seem right for everyone? So we have settled on Moff Arkham, and Lataro has given you the down low on it. He ran pet projects back in the days of the Empire, digging through the bones of conquered planets, looting sacred sites, destroying settlements to get at the things that were buried underneath. All the usual activities of an academic. Endor didn't put an end to his studies, sadly. But the people who unwillingly donated to his academic research have come together and put up the money to see him brought to New Republic justice. And he's supposed to be digging up some more junk on a backwater in the Astran sector. Lataro can tell you that basically what happened was Arkham and an unknown number of Imperials departed one of Zinja's star destroyers that passed through the Ashras sector, and he left there, basically disembarked with a detachment from the ship. And Uncle's datapad points you to on the way to the Astran sector, there is an asteroid belt believed to be in the ruins of a former system that used to be around but went supernova, and this is all that remains of the planets in there. And that's where this mysterious message from Uncle tells you that you can find out the more about where Pandit Morg originate, and the Black Sun's involvement there.
Oh, do you mind taking a quick detour? It's basically on the way. It's just a personal thing.
Oh yeah, basically on the way. That's right in my wheelhouse. We'll just ask Hella a question, and she'll get involved in trying to answer it, and they won't even notice. It's fine. Let's do this.
The odds of successfully navigating an asteroid field are computing.
Never tell
Computing.
odds. Come on.
Computing.
Never tell a pilot the odds, Blocks. That's just bad luck. I know you don't believe in it, but yeah.
Buffer overflow. I'm sorry, I cannot calculate the odds.
Don't worry, I'll calculate plenty for us.
So you're taking the beauty to let's call it let's be massively unoriginal and call it the Limbo Sector, so-called because all of the major rocks and celestial bodies have been reduced to just rubble at this point by various galactic forces, and so it's just very much like in the middle of nothing. And yeah, you come into the Limbo Sector. Immediately, collision alarms start ringing as you enter the debris field of the asteroid belt. This is not a safe place to hyperspace in and out of. Typically, most people hyperspace all the way around the Limbo Sector, hence its name.
How low can we go?
And you get a ping from a relay in the belt somewhere. It appears to be coming from multiple areas, and you get a comms message coming in on the view screen. And it says that it's from Uncle.
Oh, Quake, message for you.
Yeah.
Bring it up.
Here, what does the message say?
And this heavily obscured, like voice modified voice comes over, and it's the whole silhouette of a person speaking on the view screen, big, very deep throat kind of style thing. And it says, "You're looking for Pandit Morg."
I'm looking for info about Pandit Morg. Yeah.
Well, I'll trade you a question for a question. Does that work?
Sure.
Well, I can tell you that Pandit Morg visited a planet in the Eastern Sector, some forest planet. Him and Black Sun went down there to see if they could use it as a base for operations, and he was the only one who survived. But when he came back, he was different. And after that, he rose up the ranks. Ashes Re, it's called.
Oh. Okay.
Now, I have just one question for you. Is a droid on board?
We have a droid on board.
Designation BLX, etc., etc.
I'm not an expert on droids designations, really.
Well, time to tie up one loose end. Good luck.
Maybe we
And
should
then you
raise
hear an alarm
shields.
coming in. As emerging from behind one of the larger rocks in the area, you see a large Rhodian battle cruiser. It's Junior Kazimlik.
Oh man, that's awesome. Look.
And he comes up over the comms and says, "I'm going to get you for what you did to my ma." You must have pissed off the wrong person. They told me right where to find you.
Hey everybody, we're in trouble. Rhodian gunship coming after us. Just wanted you to know in case we get spaced. Locks, write my eulogy, please.
I'm taking the guns. Nobody minds.
Yeah. So who's the pilot? Tags is the pilot.
I'm a crack pilot. If that's okay, I'd like to pilot. So
I'm going to say, just for narrative fun, we have the Rhodian battlecruiser, and it deploys 2 Z95 starfighters that come whipping towards you. They're in quite bad shape, of course. This battlecruiser looks like it's in bad shape as well. The loss of its base and Mimor's abilities as a leader seems to have winnowed down the Kazimlik clan quite a bit, but Junior's still hanging in there. And whoever Uncle is, he appears to have set you up for a fall here by leading you into the target, the crosshairs of one of your enemies. So as these 2 Z95 starfighters come whipping in, that bounty on Junior is still active, Quake. Yes. Come whipping in towards you. Do you take evasive action or do you return fire?
I think I'm gonna take evasive action, which unfortunately makes it a little harder for Quake, but I have utmost faith in his capabilities.
So make an act under pressure roll, sir.
Cool. I have a +1 ongoing while driving or flying, so I will use that. And acting under pressure is my cool, which is +1. So I'm rolling with a +2 modifier. Evasive maneuvers. I'm going to try to spell it the British way, and I'm going to fail. So just so you know. That's terrible.
That is terrible. Yeah,
I'm eating it though. I'm eating it for XP.
You roll. You send the beauty. You know, like in this elegant pattern away from the. But you know what? It's unreliable, and your Navicom readings are not quite precise. There's a margin of error that's bigger than you're used to on a normal ship, and that means that when you do this impressive barrel roll out of the way and around a flock, like a swarm of mini asteroids to get out of the way of these Z95s, you actually plow straight through the side of it, and you just hear the ship like a shrapnel.
Oh, hey,
asteroids.
man, Hella, you've got to work on the. Oh, this is broken. This is all broken. This ship sucks.
And as you finish saying that, that's when the proximity alarm rings. Like seconds too late for it to have done anything. So with that one, I'm going to say that you have taken some damage to your comms. Your comms are now out. It's destroyed the shield, the comm dish, let's say. Which then puts us through. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do it even better. It's the navigation that's been taken out. So there's no hyperdriving out of here immediately unless someone rushes to fix that. Or you're going to have to do a blind jump, which is all kinds of risky.
Blocks being a droid could do some external repairs, even in mid-flight.
Is that how we want to frame it? Blocks out onto the hull of the ship as it goes out?
With magnetized feet onto the hull.
Yeah, cool. Well, Blocks heads outside. Quake. These starfighters are coming back in at you. What do? You're on the guns.
I think I'm going to read poetry at them. No, I'm going to shoot. I mean, what am I going to do? They are attacking us. I will try to attack them back. Let me see if I do them.
You act under pressure again here, because I don't really like kick some shebs as a fighting move on a ship. But you do get advantage if you're using the proton torpedoes.
I will. We're in a not great shape right now, right? Because of that, whatever went wrong there. So I think I will use the proton torpedoes, yes, because we should get out of here. Let's roll this. Let's see how it goes. Oh, wow. That is terrible, but it's a 7.
7.
It is a 7.
What that's going to mean is you can outright take out these 2 starfighters with the thing. And the price to pay is simply that it's going to use up the last of your stock of proton torpedoes for now. So they need to be resupplied.
Well, that's fine. We can resupply these, I guess, if everybody's cool with that. But I think it's a good trade. But, okay.
You know, I'm almost imagining that the real use of the proton torpedoes was you fired them at the Rhodian heavier vessel that's coming up as well. They broke off to intercept it, lining them perfectly straight up for Quake to hit them with the turret guns, right? Like it was almost like a lure. But that doesn't really fight your whole thing. So the proton torpedoes are gone. Which then leads us to well, Hella, is there anything that you'd like to do while you're...
If there's anything I could do to like boost the systems or repair something without going outside, I'll leave that to blocks. Then I would like to do that.
Okay, well, why don't we say that you're effectively setting yourself up to help Rich out with his next role, right? Or blocks that help out someone, as in the case may be, right? And you're doing whatever technical thing might be required for that. So I think now is a perfect time for blocks to be crawling on the outside of the ship. As we see, that we cut from the Z95 and the Rhodian pilot goes, "Yata!" as he blows up one of the proton torpedoes, and then immediately you just see the red crosshairs like line up on Quake's computer, and it's boom, and then it cuts to blocks on the outside of the ship, as of course the shock waves and the debris, being Star Wars, ripple across the hull and make a noise because it's Star Wars and sound is in space. So blocks, the comms dish appears to have been completely shredded by a micrometeorite, much like that micrometeorite that whizzes straight past your head, like coming about that far away. And deep in the cockpit, of course, seconds after it's gone past your head, Tags gets another warning, close proximity alert. Too late for it to do any good. But yeah, blocks, would you like to repair it using use tech? I think would be the ability here.
Blocks is unfazed by the micrometeorite swarming around, mostly due to his fairly low reaction speed. Use technology. Here we go. Not the worst, not the best.
Yeah, me and Rich are discussing changing up use technology to be a bit more techie rather than what it was originally, which is use magic. But for now, I think I'd like to. We'll change some of that to like repair something that's broken or something like that. Cool. So that's a 7.
Yeah. So, I think that he might ask for call for aid, if that's a thing. Hela is probably one to coordinate with the repairs from inside the ship.
I'm imagining like a power relay panel that needs to be like rerouted on the inside, right? While like outside, of course, like there's raw electricity arcing out into space, and you're like, turn off that one. No, the other one. No, the other one, kind of thing.
Make up your mind.
So, Hela, if you would like to roll to aid with tech, I suppose, or sharp, I guess.
Seems appropriate. That's an 8.
That's an 8, which bumps it up to a 10 plus overall. So yeah, the sparks run through and it connects with blocks, and the system lights up, and just as that connection gets made, you turn off the right relay, and blocks is no longer conducting all the electricity of the ship through his.
Right. It's like right at the last second before Blocks's circuits were about to overload, and he plugs in the new fuse relay right at the last instant.
And yeah, your navicom comes back on. You see that red light that's blinking away on the cockpit, like turns green, Tags. And you get Junior coming on the comms again. Why don't you stand and fight like you didn't last time, okay? I should never have fallen for your tricks. And what do you do to Tags? You are muted.
I am. Thank you. Yeah, I think what she's going to do is the Z95s are taken out by proton torpedoes. We don't have a whole lot of weaponry left, so she's going to.
And I'd say his ship is. I've called it a light cruiser, but I'd say it's more like maybe like twice the size of Millennium Falcon.
Okay. So
like big,
it's
but
like
not like a capital class ship or anything.
like 3 times bigger than our ship, but not.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I
Tough
think
rather
she's
than insurmountable.
she's gonna say, listen, we're out of proton torpedoes. The hyperdrive is carked. You just want the droid, right? You just want the droid. She cuts the engines, but lets the ship kind of drifts a little bit, just trying to lure him in, and also buy time for them to fix the hyperdrive so she can plot in, of course.
He goes, chuta puta. They wanted the droid. We just want you. And your computer board just lights up as the targeting systems come on, because he doesn't care about the droid at all.
Oh man. That didn't work well at all.
No.
She's just,
I'd have
you know what?
created.
Hey. Oh, sorry.
Good. No, go ahead.
What if we get Mama free? I mean, we're bounty hunters. We've got access to that stuff.
That's when he says, "Oh yes, of course I'll listen to your lies all over again." Boop.
Damn it.
Missiles deployed.
Hold on.
That might have served as a distraction, though,
Mm-hmm.
to set up the lasers to just damage something on their ship that they would need to target us, their targeting system.
If you want to aim at the targeting system quick, then by all means, act under pressure to target their systems.
I think this time, this seems important. I'm going to bottle it up a little here. And I'm rolling with +3.
Mm-hmm.
So you get 1 hold.
Okay.
Damn it. It's a 3, it's a 6. I could use some. Maybe could we use what text the talking as an 8 for that?
I would love to help you.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be a really good idea.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't we do that? So why don't you try and help out with your sheer naivete, because I think he has a good long laugh at that expense at the very least, right?
Hold on a second. This looks weird. Did you roll 3 dice?
Yeah, guys. I had 3 dice.
They all
from
suck.
before.
So it's
they all suck.
So
So I mean, I would re-roll them. I would love to re-roll them, but
that's fine. That's fine. I was like, I reread the move. I was like, you get to roll with advantage, and no, it's just okay. Cool. I would love to roll to help if I can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Was I rolling with charm?
Yes, because I think that just keeping him talking for a few minutes is much more believable than once more telling him here is a completely far-fetched lie that you'll have to go along with.
By the way, Tags was broadcasting this to Junior, but also within the ship. She doesn't want anybody to think she's pulling a fast one on the team.
No. I didn't think that was a genuine offer.
It was not.
Point. No.
That is a 10. So I've helped. I'm good at helping.
So it's boosted up to
mixed success, right?
To mixed success. And I'm going to say the mixed success on this one is you take out the targeting computer, but one of those missiles does get through and rock the ship, and everyone is going to take 2 harm.
Oh, okay. Does armor help with this?
Yeah, I think armor does help with this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a reason that you're so safely sealed up inside your clone trooper armor, right? It does its job, yeah.
You know what? Tags does not fly with her armor on, so I'm eating both harm.
Nice.
It just doesn't feel right. She wants to be comfy.
It is clunky armor, right? Oh no, you bought that off, didn't you? Actually,
I did buy it off.
Yeah,
I had to.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea that Tags maybe got her armor neatly put up on like a little display thing.
Oh, totally. Yeah, she paid extra money for it. They gave her this little armor set display. It's in her room.
Yeah, which would have been great when as the cockpit panels jabs into your sternum as you rock forward in the explosion. Yeah, whereas Quake, you just hear dink, 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 and there's like dents in the walls where Quake landed into it, but it's fine. Cool. So, there's just this flurry of he's just wildfiring now. Like the targeting computers are broken, but they've got a lot of firepower to bring out towards you. You are basically weaving in and out of the asteroids as this Rhodian cruiser comes up behind you. But the Navicom is fixed. Yes, Blocks and Halo need to take harm as well, I'm afraid, because it was for the whole ship, sadly.
How
Yeah,
much
I
harm
was
was it?
2 harm total, which I may have looked at everyone's armor and gone, well, 1 harm's meaningless, so it's going to be 2 harm.
I love
And then
it.
Rich has taken that penalty, and I'd give him an
Taking
XP.
both.
Yeah, if it was that kind of game. But anyways, so are you gonna punch it? You're gonna try and take Junior out for that sweet 2 bounty that's on his head?
Yeah, I think it's a check in, guys. I could probably get us out of here. Do we want this bounty?
Yeah, we're taking him down. He's not going to get away with this.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
And I think
We're out of-
I'd like to maybe. I'm thinking I could have some kind of or rig, some kind of mine or some magnetic thing we could dump out the back that would clamp on to their ship and help us in some way.
do you
Some
have
scrambler?
you have a stockpile of powerful and rare weapons and items. If you need a special
Yeah.
weapon, rolls plus tech.
Let's see what we've got. That's an 8. That's my roll today, apparently.
Okay, you have it, but only the minimum.
Yeah. So like there's one thing. I think it's some kind of scrambler that like a magnetic mine with a scrambler that will attach to their ship, but it will only last for so long. So it'll give us a temporary advantage if we can get it onto their ship. Does that sound unreasonable?
Why don't we push that a bit further? And what you have is kind of like it will literally take out their engines. It's like an EMP, it's like a Star Wars EMP type thing, right? And it's great, but it needs to be deployed to their ship. And you know what?
Yeah.
What we have. I'm going to interpret the minimum as is that you have just the one of these, and you don't have the weapons launcher for it.
Yeah.
So you have this device that would be great if somebody on the outside of the hull could maybe get it onto the ship, and if somehow you could get close enough to do that while it's currently trying to blow you up.
That would take some doing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's worth the try.
Okay.
Blocks, I got a job for you.
That is what I'm good at, is doing jobs.
We see Blocks
Yeah.
to the outside of the airlock, right, as more explosions and things are going around, and then like through the little window, Heather going like pointing down there, and then it opening up, and Blocks grabbing this little mine charge thing. I am going to require another piloting roll from Tags, I think, to bring you in close enough for this operation to even come underway.
Sounds awesome. Act under pressure to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The odds of this successfully working are computing, buffer overflow.
Don't count, just do it.
Oh, it's a 9. That is
That's a 9. Okay. Do you want to call for aid from Sabine? From Quake?
Yeah. Quake, get those asteroids out of my way, please.
Sure thing. I'm going to shoot these asteroids out of the way because we don't need them. Or maybe let's do something a bit more fun here and play around with our tractor beam. And just grab one of these asteroids and just create kind of a corridor for Blocks to go through.
Yeah.
Like you do at bowling. Like.
Yeah, I'd like a mix of the tractor beam and like, the blasters take out, like splinter a few, and then you just sort of like push the rest of them away out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you were saying about using a tractor beam to throw them around, I think if you'd paid for the advantage, a substantial tractor beam, then I would be like, it could be big enough to do damage kind of stuff. But for purely just moving you around, that's fine, Like
I didn't catch that.
well, as
Sorry,
in that,
that
like
wasn't.
you know, like the ship you can buy stuff for. So if you paid to get like a proper, like a substantial tractor beam, you could use that to disable ships, fling bolts at people. But in terms of just clearing a way through some debris, I think it's perfectly fine as a cool fictional framing. Like I just wanted to set some limits on expectations of how big a tractor beam your ship has without paying for it, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you'd
so
like to
but
roll,
I can do what I want.
yeah, you can do what you described. Yeah.
Act under pressure again.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it'd be a call for aid roll, so you could do
act
it
under
with
pressure, right?
It'd be call for aid plus cool, so the same thing effectively. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Sorry. See how that goes. Wow, it's a 9. Thank you.
Nice, which pushes tags up to a 10 plus. So you manage to avoid the lasers and the missiles that are all firing. Just, you know, he's basically just doing that thing where the ship just fires in circles going all the way around it because the targeting confused them, but they've just got so much firepower and it's destroying all these asteroids and sending debris everywhere. And a huge rock is about to. Yeah, Blocks is just standing
holding
in
on
place
to the outside, magnetized.
One hand up, like judging when to pitch, right? And he's judging, and there's an asteroid that's about to just come take him straight off the ship, and then suddenly it's just snagged by Quake on the tractor beam using the side panel and flung out of the way, which then leads us to you, Blocks. And you know what? Because you're on the outside of the ship and you're coming in hard and fast, I'd let you do this as a kick some shabs if you wished, frankly.
Sure thing.
And the harm that you're inflicting here is essentially EMP, like destroy the ship systems.
And I think it's an ion mine.
An ion mine, yeah. I knew there was a Star Wars term for it, but I couldn't think, and it's so obvious. It's ion mine, which would be for you very dangerous if this goes wrong, right?
Oh my!
Could totally disable all electronics, including Blocks. Kick some ass. Where we at? Got an 8.
An 8. So you exchange harm. I'm going to say that this is going to do a total of 3 harm to you.
Yeah.
As you throw it, you know, it hits the ship. Like you're basically like, you're this far, you know, like when the camera turns around and it pitches, you can just see like the gap between the two, and it's pretty much just bigger than you are. You know, like if you reach up, you're literally like you're trailing your fingers along the thing, and you can just see, looking up from a viewport, looking really angry, is this Rhodium with one eye patch and a scar across his face.
Yeah,
going,
this is in like one of the newer films. They would do it in slow motion. They wouldn't do that in the originals, but in the new ones, they do it in slow motion.
And then and you guys pull away, but you know, there's just enough of that ion blast that catches you, and you're sort of sparking little blue lightning bolts flickering over your systems as you drag yourself back into the ship, and you have left Junior stranded here. You can call in, you can give over his location to someone and claim his bounty.
Hey, Junior, I wasn't lying. I told you we could get you in with your mom, which is the plan. Have a good day.
Yeah. Cool. So that is 2 bounty for Junior. But your ship has taken some damage in that. How much damage has it taken? I think it was under the navigation, which you fixed, actually, didn't you? So it's just that the proton torpedoes have run out, which means that
we'll have to buy more proton torpedoes. Yep.
I think we saved 1 credit last time for the ship.
We did.
Right?
Yes, I have a note. 1 credit paid for future upgrades.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make a little pool box in the ship.
Take the hits from the missiles as well. Once we took damage from.
Yes, but I just decided to give that to you, the players.
Yeah.
It passed through. It's very, very helpful. We don't have to fix the ship because we ate the damage.
Yeah, because I'm toying with when do I do the ship's damage systems and when do I do just deal some damage to you? And I was like, I haven't done some damage to you. Why not do some damage to you? You know, before you
Yeah,
go
no,
on
that's good.
Yeah.
I like it. Because the damage to the ship, it damages our pocketbook.
Mhm. And as you're leaving the system, you know, and you're jumping out of there, you can see that you were being communicated to through a relay, a hypernet relay, basically. Uncle was never in the system. He lured you here with the promise of information that he gave to you. But what he wanted was, for some reason, he wanted your droid gone.
I would like, when things are over, I would like to have a word with Blocks.
Mm-hmm.
If he has any idea why this uncle person might be interested in him.
This is not a sentient that I'm familiar with, but I have taken on some jobs that have angered some people in my research.
Okay.
I have a question out of character. Is it literally just the word uncle?
Yeah. Which appears to be a name, code name for something, somebody.
Ah.
Oh, and tags, should I look at these, whatever damage you sustain, burns or scratches?
Oh, yeah. She kind of bashfully lifts up her shirt because, you know, she probably broke a few ribs, taking some damage there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we should fix that.
I can
I'll
drive with
try
my
it.
feet. It's fine. And she like leans back and puts a foot up. Oh wait,
We're in the big
takes off
swirly
takes off a boot.
hyperspace thing at the moment.
Exactly.
Of course. Yeah.
I have no doubt you can do that, tags, but I'd feel more comfortable if you had the hands on the wheel.
You're fine. She turns on autopilot.
So I've got a little medic here. And tide maybe. That would help
Hey, sorry
me.
I made it so hard on you earlier with my
Oh,
flying.
it's 10.
I didn't mean to make it that tough for you to take them out. But
No, it was-
wow, you took out both of the Z95s. That was amazing.
Oh, that was good. That was good flying, kid. We were in an asteroid field being shot at by 3 ships, and you brought us through. So, without colliding with that big asteroid.
Her cheeks color a little bit. Oh, well, thanks, Quake.
Just calling it how it is.
I think
And you get. Oh wait, I've got a 10 on my medic roll.
Mhm.
So that means you get back to harm.
That's all I had. So,
Mhm.
oh, this feels way better.
Yeah, that's why you go to a medic when you're hurt instead of just driving the ship with your feet.
Just trying to show
And
off.
I think that heartwarming moment is a good point to cut as we come into the sector, into the Ashes space, right? And you see this lovely, lush green planet below you. There's very few ships here, very little settlements. It's very sparsely inhabited. There is pretty much the only permanent settlement listed on the planet is a small trading post with some locals and small, like, no colonies have ever really taken off here, but there is still a sort of towns and villages kind of thing. Very, very sparsely inhabited though. So yeah,
I believe the quote was "weird shit in the forest."
Weird shit in the forest. Yeah. So we will cut as the beauty comes in. I think down over the forest that you can see on the Ruins of an Empire tab. You can see that planet. That's the last shot that will come into as you go through the cloud cover onto the fields, and then we will pick up again in 5 minutes time. Yeah, after a break, and we will have you on. So you have landed in the settlement, the trading outpost.
stop before we land. Let's just investigate this place a little so we know dangerous flora, dangerous fauna. Are there mushrooms that will spore us and anybody that doesn't have a useful
Oh, I
air
like
filter will-
mushrooms.
Yeah, I like mushrooms too, unless they send out spores that will eat your lungs from the inside out. That kind of mushrooms I don't like.
Would you like to read a bad
Or
situation?
degrade your circuits.
That oddly did not happen in that place, but that probably was because they were genetically engineered not to attack rods. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, I want to read a bad situation, or do I want to miss? Yeah, I do. I will go with plus sharp.
It's so weird. There are 7 total viewers of the Character Keeper.
What?
How is that
I have
possible?
multiple copies
True.
open.
Okay, that's why chat's got multiple copies.
Okay. Okay, wow. And I've got an 8, so hey.
Wait, ask me a question.
Yeah, I think, are there any dangers we have noticed would track best with what I was going for?
You get you scan the planet with your sensors and you pull up the HoloNet listing for Ashes Re. The Star Tours Guide to the Galaxy, and you get the sort of tourist thing from there, and it's basically that the jungles of Ashes Re are thick and with broad dome-shaped canopies. Mud lions and vampire monkeys are hostile fauna found amongst the forests of Ashes Re. However, these exotic and amazing life forms are unlikely to attack a group of humanoids. So the jungles have got hostile fauna within them, but traveling in a group is a relatively safe way of traveling. It's alone on your own is more likely where you'll get picked off by them. But they say that the jungles of Ashes 3 are labyrinthine, and no path leads the same way twice. Only those who are local to the area and have spent some time on the planet are capable of guiding people through reliably. A strange phenomenon means that many visitors to Ashes 3 cannot find the same place twice when they try to return via their ships. Enjoy your stay on Ashes 3. This has been Star Tours.
I hate Star Tours, but their information is usually accurate enough. We don't need to ride a vampire monkey. Just maybe they're cute or friendly.
Or useful.
No. Yeah, you ride a crate dragon once and everybody's about riding things.
So do we have a good any sort of idea of where the Moff's facilities are?
No. You know that he's on an expedition on this planet. But of course, Star Wars being Star Wars, as you come into the the rudimentary landing pads they have here at the trading outpost, you can see a man in once fine robes that are now extremely tattered, and he comes running up to you all. And he says, "Oh, thank God! Thank the Force! Thank the Maker! Finally, a way off this planet." You there, you. I will pay. The university will pay if you'll take me from here back to Chandrila.
University? Chandrila?
Yes, Chandrila University.
What is this? Is this like a spring break gone bad?
And this elderly man, elderly human, looks at you and says, "I'll have you know that no spring break at Chandrila University ever goes bad. We have a reputation to maintain."
I see.
Wait, I know you.
Is this?
And he
I
points
was
at
about to ask.
you there. Droid. You're
I am
Dying?
designation BLX8, but I believe I
yes.
know you.
Yes, yes. Where's your professor? Where's your owner?
Well, it would be beneficial if you could actually tell me where Professor Dim is.
Well, I can tell you that she's not here, and neither should we. I'm sick of being here. We need to listen. I'll tell you everything I know once you take me back to Chandrila, okay? I should never have agreed to come with Arkham. This was a horrible. This was such a mistake.
Please allow me to introduce each other. This is Professor Alu, a colleague of my former master.
Yes, yes. Dim and I were quite close, and then she disappeared chasing that. Oh, what was it? Something about a civilization that predated the Sith empires. Seems nonsense to me, but she was always determined, and well, I thought that you were with her.
If only I were. Now, we have some business to attend to on Ashisri, so unfortunately, we will not be able to discuss the matter of Chandrila. Here would be more beneficial to discuss and ask questions.
You promise you'll take me back afterwards?
Blocks looks over his shoulder at the rest of the crew and summoning his his whatever deception he can muster. Yes, of course, I promise.
If this is a deceit thing, this is a manipulate someone.
Yeah, I think so.
Because openly doing it is not manipulating them, but doing it this way is definitely manipulating them. That is a 3.
That is a 3.
And he says, everyone wants to take advantage of a poor academic like myself. But I have learned things in my time out here in the field. Leverage. If I tell you what you want, then you'll have no reason to take me anywhere. So no. I can tell you what Professor Dim's last discovery was, robot, droid. Once you've promised me a berth on your ship. And once we have sent a comm from your ship with the university to confirm that you are held and bound by our agreement.
Again, I think that Blocks is going to glance over his shoulder, but this time is not going to act without consulting the rest of the crew.
Listen, does he belong to any of you?
He doesn't belong to anybody.
He's droid.
He's practically unbound. Practically.
Oh,
So,
I've heard awful things about them.
oh my goodness.
It's exaggerated what you hear.
Yes, I'm sure.
Unless you're a slaver, then it's not.
Fascinating. You're a Mark 3, yes? From Camino? You don't
I'm not
see
a Mark III. I'm not a Mark III from Camino.
No. That's been some time. Ready?
Yes. I'm first generation, if that's what you're asking.
First generation.
Yes.
Amazing.
Right.
I thought the Empire had culled all of your kind long ago.
They tried.
Well, certainly you're better stocked than the nasty lot they have here. But you're reasonable. The Mark Ones are always reasonable people.
Are we?
Yes.
Hey, he called you people.
Okay, I give him that. Do you have a vampire monkey?
No, but should
Okay.
have, but I still hear their hoots hunting me through the forests.
Mm.
Listen, will you let me get onto your ship, please? I've been here for ages, and that woman, the elder here, she just keeps telling me that I need to go back to them, but that would be insanity. I'm not going back to them off.
So you
Why
know
would
where he is.
he's at the site, at the ruins.
So you know where they are.
Oh, I couldn't find my way back there. I ran.
Hmm.
And he said he was done with me. And I know what happens. I'd saw what happened to people who the Moff was done with.
So I'm looking at tags and saying, do we take him?
He said if you can pay the fuel cost and sundries, sure.
Oh, I'm temporarily embarrassed. You see, I don't have my my grant funds through yet, but I could tell you more if you'll give me birth, and I'd happily help out your robot friend, the droid, with poor Professor Dean. I would, it wounds me to withhold this information, but you understand, of course, that if I give you it, then why would we just need to? All we need to do is to just put your code cylinder into here, and the agreement's official.
Is that good enough for you, Blocks? If he promises he'll give you some info on your maker?
We do need the information, not only on our maker, but as much as information on the Moff as possible.
Okay.
I kind of
Yes.
hope we don't have the same maker box. Don't take us the wrong way.
Wait a second. Then that would mean the Clone Wars was all some kind of made up threat.
Yeah, what it
thing. That
was.
doesn't make any sense.
Oh, another conspiracy theorist who claims that the Clone Wars was simply orchestrated internally as a false flag operation by the Empire. It's insane. Can you really believe such a thing?
We can discuss this on the show.
It is
right?
convoluted, and she slides the code cylinder in.
Yeah. Metagame wise, everyone seems to want to get something for nothing. Sometimes you have to offer the NPCs things, guys.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
We also like to negotiate. If we offer one thing, then he's going to want more.
Yeah. This was literally let him onto your ship. Thought the stakes couldn't be any lower, but yes. So yes, he says, "Oh well, it was me and the boy. She can tell you more about him." And you see a local, an elder woman who is standing at the edge of the landing pad, looking on with concern at the group of you. She may be able to help you find the ruins. The locals have ways of getting through it. I don't quite understand it, but we found the temple. It was easy to get through the jungle with the recon troopers and the speeder bikes and the ATSTs, or the ATRTs, sorry. And of course the local guide, Siren, charming boy. Has a future, I think. Well, if he ever makes it out of there, but he seemed too curious for his own goods. We found the temple, and well, the Moff had some of the locals open it up, and then he was done with them, and he had said he had no more use for them, and that's when I left, because I fear he had no more use for me. We'd found the burial site of Darth Raskin, and that's what the Moff was interested in.
Fascinating.
I've given you, if one of you wants to roll investigate a query, you can ask me more, see how much more information you can get out of him. Hello?
I fear that I have burned any possibility of further
He's very uninterested in talking to Blocks. Yeah. What he's going to give you on Professor Dim, by the way, is going to be the most minimal thing you can get away with after you.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have a good in with him to
As part of the ship, basically, and you're also an expert. You are the expert, in fact. So you are
true.
Well-read, well-versed in things. You are you're more of an engineer, but to me it seems as though you're one of those people who's a bit of a savant who knows a little bit about a lot of things, thanks to just boundless curiosity or whatever, right?
I read. So yeah, I'll make a roll for that. And that's sharp, right?
Sharp, yes.
Excellent.
Fail.
Yeah, snake eyes.
Snake eyes.
Do you want to call for aid?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. I'm tempted to just take the XP.
It's up to you. But yeah, you want to call for aid then? Okay.
No, I'll call for aid.
Okay.
We need all the help we can
We
get.
could get attacked by vampire monkeys if you take the XP.
So, how are you aiding?
I was actually in the Clone Wars, and I was with the Jedi. I've heard stuff about Sith and stuff like that, so might be helpful in this case.
I'd say that's a plus sharp as well, like, you know, offering your insight into these things as well.
Sharp. Wow, no. My insight into the Sith is flawed. I'm afraid. It's 4.
Okay. He's going to tell you, well, tell me what question you would have asked, Anders, if you got the result.
Think we like about the planet, or what are you thinking?
Well, what are you thinking?
Yeah, sorry, I was asking the other players. Yeah, vampire monkeys. Yeah, I think I would ask about the vampire monkeys actually.
Oh, terrible beasts, terrible. They attack in packs. They never go for more than one person, but I was on my own as I ran through, and I remember the little red eyes following me through the things. And the worst part is, you can't see their reflections.
You can't see their
reflections.
Weird.
I was walking through a swamp and I looked up and I was surrounded by them. I looked down into the water and there was nothing.
Well, you know, Marky's swamp water is perhaps not the best reflective surface.
Yes, that must be it. That must be it. But the swamp did offer a way into the. That's how I got out. You see, that's how I bypassed the recon troopers on patrol. The north side of the ruins is swampland. If you were to go through there, well, I suppose that would be the best way in, I guess. So that's what information you got there, is that the north side is the best way to go in.
You have to go in through a swamp. Okay.
I do have some degree of waterproofing.
Okay. And that is when the woman approaches you all and says, I am so sorry to interrupt all of you, but you are talking to him. I assume you are here for the Moff Arkham?
We are. We're after the Moff Arkham for his many crimes against the galaxy. He's the worst.
Well, but he has credits. I'm afraid one of the townsfolk, Siran, volunteered to be his guide. He never believed in the stories of the ruins. And just wanted to get off world. Would you look for him? The professor, he would not, and she scowls at him and he just sort of like looks away as though he's not hearing this conversation. Says the professor refused to go back for him.
Oh, the professor's a coward. We've got this.
And Professor blushes, but continues to pretend that he can't hear this conversation that's happening right next to him. Then here, and she passes you. It's just like a carved wooden token, and she says, "This will keep you on the path." And she gives you some rough directions to the place, and she says, "It will only work the once."
Fascinating.
Wooden token. She hands it to Hella. Weird.
Yeah, I'll
What
take
do
that.
we do with the token?
Those carrying it can always find their way to where they intend to go, and their way back to here. But as I say, the path is only open once. Siran knows how to make these. This is why the Moff took him with him. Otherwise, the deeper you go into the jungles, the more difficult it gets.
And this boy could help us find the way back as well, I take it.
Yes. Yes, please bring him back alive. He is just a boy. He doesn't understand what he is. He doesn't know what the Empire is like.
Few really do. And when they do, they regret it.
And at that, you see the professor look down at his shoes as he realizes that that describes him perfectly as well. Star wipe. Yeah. Okay. I'm feeling that this is probably going to be one that we'll finish up in the next session, and then we'll do
That's what it felt like to
downtime,
me.
choose a bounty, and thing or whatever. Just to be clear. So you're trekking through the jungles. You know the route. The path keeps you there. You know, as you go through the jungles, there's thick, broad, dome-shaped canopies. And you find your way over towards the ruins of Darask Nor, a sealed temple. You know, I assume that Quake's got the Star Wars binoculars at one point, right? And the professor's words seem to be true. That you know, you see these recon troop ATRTs on quick patrol, ranging further out from the. I said speeder bikes before. There are no speeder bikes. Sorry, it's just ATRTs. Speeder bikes would be unreliable in the humidity of the jungles. The ATRTs are much more better at these things. And you can see that some of the scout troopers who are deployed, the discipline appears to be radically different than it used to be under the Empire. They have got paintwork and markings all over their armor. Every one of them seems to have individualized it. It's like this is a rogue group of Imperials, and you can see that around the ruins there is an encampment where the Imperials are set up. You know, lots of crates and boxes and a sort of landed like repulsor lift carrier type thing, like a heavy carrier that they probably took in very slowly into here as the ATRT cleared the way in front of it. And these temples that appear to have been partially excavated out by the Empire. And sure enough, to the north, there is a big sort of like, you know, fairly concealed way in as a swamp comes right up to the edge of the encampment. And you can see that the ATRT patrols only go to the edge, to either side of this swamp, leaving the north side relatively, unpatrolled.
I see any other BLX series droids around? They are general purpose labor droids, so would not be beyond belief that the Empire would have some.
Read about the situation.
That's a 7.
7, you can ask me one question. Which I would probably phrase that one as, what's my best way in?
Yeah. Well,
Which
what's my best way in?
which is that you do see a couple of BLX droids. And they appear to be not operating at full, capacity, efficiency. They seem to be quite slow, and one of them on the arms has got a sticky motivator on one of the arms. But they appear to be unloading things, a very large laser drill from the cargo carrier. And we see a couple of the Stormies, like kick one of them as it like knee freezes up and it bends down and it can't quite do it, and they kick it over, shake their heads, and then manhaul the supplies onto the hover truck between them and push it off, leaving the robot to sort of like awkwardly pull itself back up again.
It appears someone could use an oil bath. Blocks is going to take off. Sorry, Sabine. What were you saying?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Blocks is going to take off his duster and trench coat, or his duster and fedora. If you could say that a droid's ocular sensors look wistful, then they do. As he folds them carefully and hides them underneath the bush.
Nice. So,
How many
what's the plan?
stormtroopers are there?
Over a dozen, not including the patrol.
Okay, so direct assault is probably out.
You're mostly basing that on like the supplies and the billets that you see around. You only ever see a couple of stormtroopers at any one point outside, but you can presume that there's more inside because they've got these unique markings, and you see one of them go in and then three of them come out and then blah blah blah, so like it's hard to keep track of them all.
No, that's fine. I don't like this.
Let's put it at the level of enough to be a significant challenge, but enough that a group of Star Wars protagonists could deal with them.
Sure.
Given how many Mandalorian seems to kill by himself.
I mean, stormtroopers, right? You can take them out, but it's a challenge. Question is if we can find a better way, because we need this guy alive, right? This Moff.
If at all
Need to
possible,
capture him, not kill him.
double the bounty alive, and we can question him.
You also, to be perfectly clear, there is a bonus, which is I think going to be 3 bounty extra. No, 2 bounty extra. I say it was on 2 as the bonuses. If you retrieve the cultural artifacts wherever they are.
Well, the professor mentioned the swamp. It looks like Blocks is willing to appear as one of the labor droids. Do we split up? Some handling of frontal assault to draw them out of the whatever this place is, while I don't know, Hella and I sneak in through the swamp?
It's a good idea. Blocks, if you go in there, maybe you can take my grenades with you and set them off at useful moment, while I pretend to be a one-man assault, frontal assault. I can do that.
I am excellent at causing distractions. Blocks pops open his storage compartment on his chassis.
Nice.
I will give you the grenades.
So it sounds like we're back onto 2 separate plans rather than one encompassing plan, which is the Quake Blocks amplified frontal assault, basically, like Quake doing a frontal assault and it Blocks making it appear to be much stronger than it actually is through surreptitious use of grenades and things, and then Hella and Tags going through the swamp to infiltrate. Does that seem? Yeah.
That seems
it-
like that's the plan we're going with. And I
Yeah.
will look at
Just
tags and
because
say,
rolling all of that into one single make a plan move seems like it's
Yeah.
every single quality being used. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
before we separate though, I will look at tags and say, be careful. This place doesn't feel right.
I won't let Hela get hurt. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but look
Got
out
my
for
armor
yourself
on.
too. Yeah, kid, I'm proud of you.
so why don't we do the blocks quake move, which I am gonna say is blocks can roll that and make a plan there.
Sure.
I think it's sharp, probably, to be honest. Even though it does involve violent, dangerous, destructive action, I think that the major part of it is about being
Yeah,
smart.
misleading that it's a bigger deal than it is.
Because however this comes out, Quake is going to be under fire and, you know, exchanging fire. The real question is, does Blocks manage to get off these explosives? Does he get caught?
Not sharp. Other to make a plan. Supported by plenty of resources and people. Supported by 2 people.
Yeah, to give you the +1 there. I don't know if you're really basing it on accurate current. You are basing it on accurate current information. So that's +2.
We do have the benefit of disguising Blocks as one of the
that's what I'd
droids.
say. So that's a +2 there, but there is a -1 from the opposition that would interfere with the plan.
Of course.
So it's up to a +1 flat plus your smart skill.
Sharp is 0, so it's just 2d6 + 1.
Okay. Nice.
Squeak.
Some part of your plan encounters unexpected difficulties or your party splinters, your choice.
Let's say unexpected difficulties of some sort.
Unexpected difficulties of some sort. Well, let me just hold on to that one, because the party is splintered anyways, yeah. So, but I think the party
Fine.
splintering even further would have been even more isolating. Right?
Yes, yeah.
So let me hold on to that one while we see how the swamp infiltration goes, which I believe Tag suggested the sneaking in through the swamp there.
I did. Sneaking.
It's sharp.
Yeah. Dang it. I should totally have let Hela lead this one. Dang.
I do like the rule where it's like whoever suggested it has to do it, basically.
I do it too. You know, I have an autofill thing whenever I write something in the particular text box, and I started to write sneaking, and the autofill said sneaking. So obviously, this is a thing I do from time to time. Oh my, that is a 10.
Nice. You come through the swamp, and you realize that the reason that the ATRTs aren't patrolling this area is because it is heavily landmined underneath there. And that was a miss that the professor gave you that on. So he was giving you information that he was just lucky enough to miss the entire landmine field as he ran mildly through it and thought it was a great thing. But obviously the Imperials thought about this, right? But beyond your 10, you noticed that before you set up on any of them, and you can work your way through it the way you can see kind of how he got out of there, you know? And you're heading in when you know, Blocks, you've walked your way in. Now, I am going to say though, like, what weapons do you have, Blocks? a heavy blaster pistol,
Yep.
and
And these two hands.
those two hands. So I'm going to say that to really infiltrate, you had to leave behind your heavy blaster pistol, sadly, or at least Quake's
Yeah, I
carrying it for now.
probably had to, in order to like store the grenades, had to relieve myself of the blaster.
Mm-hmm. And you plant the grenades. Where do you plant the grenades?
Plant them probably at as many spread out points as possible. Next to that, are there probably on some vehicles? Any parked ATRTs?
There is definitely at least one parked ATRT. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, and the unexpected difficulty, right? So you're planting that is just as you're planting the last one, you hear like something, suddenly all the noise of the jungle all around you, right? There's just been this background noise that are going in the background. It all just stops. And the ground shakes as something goes off inside of the excavated temple, right? And it's silent. You shrug and you go back to working on the thing, and just as you're about to press the button, you hear blaster fire coming out from inside the temple, and then you hear blaster fire coming out from in the jungle.
Perfect.
And then a guy comes, a scout trooper comes running out with his helmet, like with blood like streaked across his helmet, and he runs and he leaps on top of that ATRT, and he's like, You droid, get out of the way. Wait, what are you doing? Is that when you hit the explosive thing?
I had just stood up and had my head cocked considering the sounds around me, and just then detonate.
Cool. I'd like you to roll a kick some shebs with this guy, and it's basically you're going to take him out, and it's the question of whether or not you get caught in the explosion as well.
Got that 7.
Nice. Yeah, you take. I think you're going to take a whole 3 damage from that one, I'm afraid, because it's boom, and then all of your mine's explosives go off, right? But like
I had been intended on getting further away, but as needs must.
And
Quake right then.
Quake, you're, I imagine, lying in the bushes waiting for the signal to go, right?
Yeah.
You hear the sound of blaster fire and you think, Poodoo, it's not, something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
And then boom, as the camp erupts into fire.
I think I'll just start picking off these Stormies because, whatever's happening in the temple, I have to trust Halo and Tags to take care of that. And the one thing I can do to help is to make sure that nobody attacks them from these guys that are on the outside milling about. Also, I want to keep people away from blocks because I don't want them to disintegrate him or something.
Yeah, you last saw him like over towards like the Imperial encampment side of it, past the excavations, right? Like you're kind of coming in from the other side almost.
But there's somebody coming in from the jungle. I heard that correctly, right?
The ATRTs seem to be engaging with something in the jungle.
Oh.
Now. But okay. you see a scout trooper, a couple of scout troopers that you can just take down, and the others like
take them out because they're stormtroopers. I don't like stormtroopers.
Nice. And you're pushing on through the wreckage, and you can see the chaos of everything. Something seems to be really, if you're running your way towards blocks, you're wondering where Tags and Hela are, and you crouch down behind some things, and you can see striding out of the temple comes a figure holding a red lightsaber.
Oh.
Wearing a tattered Moss uniform, and a young boy a young man pushes himself backwards across the ground below it. And as you bring up your crosshairs, you hear a crunch behind you. And that scout trooper that you just taken out lurches out of the mist,
Oh,
raising one hand.
great.
And I think that's where we'll cut.
Nice.
Oh no.
Oh, wow, that is great. I love that. Quick doesn't, but I do.
Yeah, and if you look on the keeper now, it has all of the things
Yeah.
revealed.
Look at those pics. That is a messed up looking reanimated there. I see. Dang it, scout troopers. Oh. Wild.
So,
Terrifying.
you know, the landmines didn't go off, but the hard move translated to you're just that little bit too late to stop Moff Arkham from opening the tomb of Darth Raskin and finding his lightsaber, which kicks off all of this lovely nonsense. So next session is going to start with you mid, three-way fight between you, Moff Arkham's soldiers, and the reanimated. And yeah, let's see what happens here. So thank you very much, guys. Should we end the recording here?
Sure. Let's end the recording here. Goodbye, Internet.